Greetings Boffins and welcome to the Boffin Lab. I'm Old Man Triton and this is a nano guide on how to find free salvage and use advanced salvaging techniques in Star Citizen. There is actually a lot of free salvage available if you know how to look for it, and to look for it you must know how to use your scanning interface. But this time you need to pay attention to the RS signature values in the upper right corners, because that'll tell you whether you're finding the right thing or you're looking at an asteroid. This chart comes courtesy of Red Monster Gaming, our link in the description below. It shows that you can find panels as well as a number of different types of ships in asteroid belts. The right thing to look for is a RS signature of 2000 or a multiple of that number. That'll indicate a collection of panels for you to salvage. It's also possible to find ships of various sizes, but they will have CS and IR signatures as well. This chart also comes from Red Monster Gaming and will show you that you can get panels in any of the Lagrange points and also the yellow belt and the Aaron halo, but you can find ships in only certain areas. Now the trick to finding these salvage panels is in the scanning. Notice that I'm currently looking at something that does not have an RS of 2000 and then suddenly pointing at a new unknown that is a multiple of 2000. I start homing in on it using the pierce and the signals and pulsing, but as I get closer I have to be careful. I'm now detecting the items directly and the signal changes strength. I do not hold down the left mouse button to scan. I just keep those markers on screen as much as possible and I watch the signal strength climb as I get closer. But I'm also trying to be slow about it as I get closer. The closer that I get, the slower I go. And in fact, at one point, I will choose to drop the landing gear to get fine-tuned maneuvering. This is because the panels do not spawn in until the very last minute, until you're right upon them. Point your ship in the direction that gets the best signal strength, and then move in that direction. And then suddenly, the panels appear in front of you. Then I look around. I'm trying to find all the panels that were on the marker. There was 4 on the marker and there can only see 3. This happens quite a lot. So there might be a small panel just out of view somewhere. So maneuver very carefully when you're in this field. I have moved so that I'm in range of one of the panels and activated my salvage gear. However, I'm going to activate the gimbled mode on my salvages by pushing the G key, and that means that my salvages now track the arrow at the end of my indicator instead of moving the ship to tilt towards the actual beams. This has an advantage if you've got a crew member, in that they won't be maneuvered or knocked over because you're changing direction and altering your position. This will let them stack cargo in the back of your ship. It also means that you don't accidentally hit anything while you're moving around the object that you're salvaging. But there's one thing to look out for when you're using this mode. Sometimes the 2 salvaging lasers will get out of alignment and you will have to realign them. The best way to do this is to focus them on an object at close range, like this piece of salvage, align the units while they're in gimbaled mode, and then switch back to standard mode, lock mode, by hitting the G key again. You should then have them both centered in the middle where you want them. A little shout out to my subscriber Still Star Trekking, who let me know about the gimbaled mode in salvaging. I've found that it's very easy to become disoriented when salvaging in space without an easy reference point like this. And so there is a trick that I have been using regularly to help me sort through the panels that I have already used. I switch to my secondary weapons and then I hit Alt A to select only the tractor beam. I drag the panel that I have just finished salvaging and collect it in a corner with all the other finished pieces of salvage. This makes it easy for me to see where all the salvage that I've already covered is and helps me find the pieces of salvage that I'm still looking for. I can also use the tractor beam to change the orientation and position a piece of salvage nicely so that I can use the gimbal mode to strip the panels off the sides. Use Alt S to select both units. I've filled my filler station with just the 3 panels already, and I have to stack my cargo. Now, it's a waste to come out here all this way and simply just have one cargo load of gear. So you want to maximize the amount of space that you bring back. There is room on the cargo grid for a total of 12 units of recycled material composite or SEU containers, however you're deciding to do the job. But there is a little bit of room down the side which is intended for a walkway, and you can maneuver the containers into that spot like this. However, there will be no snapping point. You'll have to make the move manually and put it all in place yourself. With this way you can fit 12 on the grid, 8 down the corridor and 1 on the ejection chute for a total of 21 units of salvage plus another 13 in the hopper. You'll be able to sell it all. You'll just have to come back and sell the stuff that's in the hopper after ejecting it a second time. A little inconvenient, but if you have a friend eject the cargo after you sold the original cargo, and while you're still at the terminal, you'll be able to sell the second time as soon as he's finished unloading. I've had to go find some more salvage, but I am now finishing off the hold. You'll notice that there is already 6 units down the side of the walkway, and I'm stacking the last 2. If you're really good at this, you might be able to stack a couple more where I'm standing, but you can't put any on that yellow bar. The unit will allow you to eject one, leave it on the tray, and continue working with it and count it towards the saleable, but that is the last of it. There really isn't room for any more in the ship. I've reached new baggage and I'm ready to sell. When I select my vulture from the pull down list, you'll notice that the cargo is stacked in 2 different sets. There's the 12 units that is on the cargo grid and the 9 units that are not on the cargo grid, including the 1 unit that's on the delivery tray. You can sell them all from this location. I ran back and ejected the last of the recycled material composite that was in my hopper, and the whole lot was sold. The total load from a vulture comes to just under 500,000 credits. That's it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a look at my Patreon. Good hunting and have fun in space.